In this video, I will be answering question 6, how do I create a custom list in capacity management? Custom list can be used in a variety of ways. It can be used in the transfer list. You can set up as many custom lists as you require. One custom list could be transfers into your ward. Another custom list could be transfers out of your ward. If you wanted to be able to filter for intended elective admissions for the day, you would be able to do a filter for this as well. And we will now cover the steps in how to do this.
Beginning with the custom list, I have my transfer list tab open, and at the moment I'm looking at all of the transfers for the entire hospital. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create my custom list by selecting list properties. When you select list properties, it'll provide 4 options, which I'm going to select add custom list. At this stage, you'll be required to enter a display name. These display names are for your purpose, and it's whatever you're going to remember and understand. The first scenario I'll go with is I wish to have a tab that shows me my elective admissions that I'm expecting today for Ward 22. So I'm going to call this tab Ward 22 Electives and press OK. Now this has created a new tab just underneath my transfer list. It does still show me all of the patients within the entire hospital, and this is because the second step of this custom list is to then filter your screen. Please note I do still have my full transfer list available just to the left of this. So if you do filter your screen for whatever reason, and you do still require to see what's going on across the entire hospital, you are still able to do this. Within my new custom list, I'm going to come back to my list properties. However, this time I'm going to select filter or sort properties. Now, this option gives you 2 abilities. With these columns, I can now either filter, or if I go back, you can also sort them alphabetically. In order to filter, you do need to make sure that your arrows are showing on all of your column headers. Now, because this scenario is for an elective admission, this means that the patient doesn't have a current location on Ward 22. So for an elective admission, you may need to filter this by destination, as when elective admissions are due in the hospital, they should have a bed reserved on your ward. So it may be easier to filter this destination option. However, it is important to find the process that best works for your ward. I'm going to filter this by destination. So all I'm going to do is select the column header destination and then tick to include, and then select the ellipsis icon. At this stage, I'm going to use these arrows to expand the different locations until I find the ward that I want to filter this to. Once I've found the ward, I'm going to place a tick into the white box to the left of this and press OK. So this has now filtered this screen. However, you can see that I do still have some patients showing. Because these patients don't have a destination, it does still show the patients on your list. These will eventually drop off as soon as they have a destination set. The second scenario you could use your custom lists for is for transfers going out of your ward. So I'm going to follow the same steps, going back to list properties and add custom list. However, this time I'm going to call this Ward 22 transfer out. For this particular tab, I'm going to choose to filter this by current location instead. So I'm going to come and ensure that my filters are all clear. So I'm just going to change my destination back to all. So I'm back to seeing all of my patients, which will then allow me to filter my current location. So I'm going to filter my current location, following the exact same steps as before. And selecting 22 BRI and pressing OK. So now it's showing nobody on the list. But if I then placed a transfer request on one of the patients showing on 22, they will then immediately show on the transfers going out, as their current location is still set for ward 22. The final scenario you could do is to create another custom list. You could call this transfers in. And again, you would set this using your destination filter. You would reset this back to ward 22. You can create as many of these custom lists as you choose to. It is your personal preference how you want to set these up. These custom lists can also be set up in multiple tabs, so it's not just the transfer list specific. But you will always maintain your full transfer list. The second thing you're able to do is change the columns that you have provided within these tabs. So one circumstance could be that you're seeing a little bit too much information that you don't require. To modify this, it's in the same list properties that we've recently used. And I have the option to configure list columns. As soon as I select configure list columns, I then have a long list, and these are all of the columns that you have available. So I could then select the options I may wish to add in until I'm happy, and I can then close. If you wished to simplify this, you would come back to your configure list columns and you would remove the tabs that you do not wish to see. If for whatever reason you need to go back and view the unfiltered list for the trust, you will still have this available in the tab next to your custom list. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions relating to any of the processes covered within this video, you can contact any member of the team on the email addresses provided. Alternatively, you can email epr.dqtraining@bthft.nhs.uk. This email account is monitored by the entire EPR training team and it is monitored daily.